What is going on, everybody? Brent Abel here, goldballhunting.com. That young buck over there. Yes, the great Jeff Jacklich, and another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. Today, guys, we're going to talk about the problem of 129 frickin' videos. So stay with us because I got a rant, and I know that Jeff's got a rant. So hang in there with us.
So the big question is this: how are tennis players like us who never played on the tour, weren't incredible juniors, or maybe got a late start to the game, how do we consistently compete at our highest skill level without having to grind through endless hours of on-court practice time and still be in the hunt for the victory match after match? That is the question, and Gold Ball Hunting gives you the answers by helping you eliminate your skill level range so that you build a strong foundation of confidence. My name is Jeff Jacklich, and along with Brent Abel, my partner, welcome to Gold Ball Hunting.
All right, Jeffrey, my man, what's going on over there today, dude? You're in Moraga. I think we both. I think the whole state of California is like on the radar green, and some of it's yellow.
Yeah. Raining, sleeting, and I'm sure snowing it somewhere.
Somewhere
in California,
in the Sierras, yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely. It came in, in the AM, and it's gray, rainy, wet. There we go.
Well, there you have it, the whole state. So you and I have opportunity today to maybe do some work that that we should be doing. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. Another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. Today's episode number 326. Less than 40 away from. Now again, I can't remember. Is 2020 a leap year? Maybe we
don't know.
Maybe
we still haven't figured that out.
We have to go to 366. Well, if that's the case, then we're 40 away. I thought we were 40 away yesterday, but either.
We'll do whatever it takes.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So yeah, yesterday we talked about how teaching pros can sort of force feed you theory,
right?
And yet everyone, and I saw this yesterday. As a matter of fact, yesterday morning, I went out and to hit some balls, and I walked past one of the teaching courts, and here was a pro trying to force feed how to close the net and put away the volley.
Ouch.
To this gal who clearly, first of all, didn't have the stroke technique to be able to accomplish that.
Right.
And at least on a consistent basis. And then number two, mentally, it just wasn't her. It just wasn't her. And so I kind of looked at this thing and I thought, why do we do this? Why are there so many teaching pros out there force feeding theory as opposed to actually taking a little time and getting to know the student and go, oh, you know what? I see that you're really good at this without even having to say, hey, you got to get better at putting away the volley at net.
Right.
Stop it.
Because that is it's just not possible without having a consistent, I don't care whether it's correct technique, but without having a consistent methodology for actually hitting a volley. I don't care whether you invert it. I don't care whatever the technical character of your volley is. If you're not doing the same thing every time, you can't actually create a feel for making the ball land in a certain spot. If every time the ball comes, you're creating something new, it's not possible to become consistent at any of it. So I don't care whether it's correct or not. It's when you walk by a court and you see this person just constantly working, and part of it is because I don't want to be here.
Well, and plus the feeds were like 5 feeds. I mean, these were like sizzlers coming in. I'm going, now, when was the last time she saw a ball from an opponent coming in there with a little nasty dippy snap at the end where it just, and she's, what?
Right.
And she didn't have the heart to go, dude, stop it. This is not me. I mean, I wanted to be her lawyer, or I wanted to be her agent to go in there and say, this is not her, dude. You got to stop right now, or else we're going
Right.
over. We're going to a different club. We're going to go find someone who actually
Right.
gets her. Anyway, so listen, guys. If you watched or listened to yesterday's episode, I hope that resonated with you. Jeff and I were talking before we hit record this morning, and I don't want to name names on this thing, but
No.
God, there's so much bloody hype out there. In terms of well, theory number one, teaching theory number one, but just the marketing hype online of tennis courses, of tennis lessons, of tennis coaching. It is mind-boggling. And a friend of ours who's an online colleague is now sending out 2 or 3 emails a day, morning, noon, and night, of the same exact email. If that's not the definition of spam, I don't know what is. I mean, look, if you got 3 different things to say during the day, great. They better have 3 unique value bombs in them. But to send me just a copy and paste the same email 3 times or 2 or 3 times a day, I'm just going, killing me, man. Just absolutely killing me. It's disgusting. But you brought up some kind of a Cyber Monday deal where some guy was promoting, 100 plus videos.
It was in excess of 100
price. And I'm going, 100 plus instructional videos. Let's see how overwhelming we can make someone, because 129, like you were saying, well, let's say each video is only 15 minutes long.
Yeah. I shrunk it down and said, let's just say they're 10 minutes.
Okay. 10 minutes. That's fine.
I just went, oh my God, how do you get through this and actually understand it, much less try to apply it, much less in a match? How do you like the ding, get down this list? And in my head, I'm calculating, going, okay, if I'm at a club and I have Bob every week at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, and he has his weekly lesson, he wants to move up to from 3.5 to 4.0. I've got this guy for an hour a week, and then he has his team clinic, and then he has his team match, and then Bob works. So he has he has 3 visits to the court a week, and I'm thinking, man, excess of 100. I mean, how many weeks are there in a year? 52? 50? Is it 52?
Last time I looked, yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing this calculation, going, okay, it's going to take me over 2 years to get through. If I just did an hour a week on a 10-minute video, and then tried to actually, like, if I took my phone out to the court and did this and worked on each video specific, got the ball machine out and did it, it would still take me, once a week to do that. And here's the truth about, tennis is, repetition is part of the deal. And it's not just the once a week repetition. You have to find the vein of how to move this one item, how to move it forward. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
No, you don't.
Once a week is just not going to. It's just unrealistic to think I'm going to look at a video, even if I spend an hour on the court by myself with the ball machine and blah blah blah, then have my team practice and then play my match, because we're all going to do the warm fuzzy. I do it, you do it, Brenny. We all, when things start to get tight and things start to get messy in a match, we all want to retreat back to the warm fuzzy thing that we know we do well, even though we know for a fact it's not going to create the win that day. It just makes us feel good to be able to produce something. So that's where the better players, though, deviate, is we know when we hit that spot that's not going to produce the win. And I need to make a new decision right now that still may not produce the win, but I'm going to make a new decision right now and move this meter differently today. So I have real data about how to get better, how to become a better player, how to create more wins. So there's my rant. I just think it's silly.
Well, look, I mean, if you go ahead and spend the money, you get 100 plus videos, 100 plus instructional videos. At some point, it's overwhelmed because there's just too much information coming in there, and it's like on the serve, right? You start your service motion, you go, all right, here's thing 72, 89. I mean, it's like,
right.
You have to think of 100 plus things to do in a match. You got to be kidding me. Come on, man. Look, you and I are promoting 5 pillars that's 5 pillars that really are the foundation for playing good tennis. And it's all relative to who you are. It's all relative to who the player is. Everyone has unique stroke technique. I'm sorry, you can't take a video. You can't take a video and believe that, well, if I've got 100 students, they're all going to look the same. They're not going to. There's just no way. You take tactics and strategy. Well, for some players, this 2-shot pattern is it. It works beautifully. But for a lot of other players, it doesn't work at all. The first shot might work, but the second shot is, nope, that doesn't work for me. And it could be personality. And then the third thing is physical, right? Look, you could be teaching theory all day long, 100 plus videos, but if that player, if that guy or the gal's, walking around with an extra 20, 25 pounds, I'm sorry, that particular thing is not going to work. The one thing that player should be doing, the one and only thing, what do we have to do to shed those 20 or 25 pounds?
Right.
And then
that will instantly make you a better player.
Totally. The kitchen.
Without lifting the racket once.
Totally. The next thing's mental. And all these things are kind of intertwined, right? Mental for me was always based on physical, right? So the better shape I get in, the more I kind of do stuff physically that's uncomfortable in terms of training, the more confident I would be in my matches because I feel like, you know what, I've worked my ass off. I deserve to be here. Even if I'm getting my butt kicked by someone who's way better, I still deserve to be here. It's not really shattering my confidence. Right. And of course, the fifth thing is experiences. Look, 100 frickin' courses, 100 instructional videos, most of the learning happens when you put yourself out there where the results made public. Tournaments, leagues, and or you play a practice match with a buddy or a friend, and you guys decide before, we're going to post this result either in the blackboard in the clubhouse or on Facebook or somewhere, or we're going to text our 22 tennis buddies. You know what? Jeff kicked my butt today, 1-0. Okay, that's fine. But that 1-0 butt kicking probably told you 2 things. Number one, I'm pretty good at this one thing. Even though I got thumped 1-0, I'm pretty good here. Maybe I could figure out ways next time to do more of that. Right. And then this other little area, I get in trouble when I think about doing this one little thing. I got to stop doing that. And you're not going to get those epiphanies if you don't do pillar number 5, which is experiences, plural. You should be doing that on a regular basis. I mean, look, you mentioned a lesson, you mentioned a clinic, a doubles clinic, and then you mentioned maybe some kind of a drill session.
Right.
The 3 things.
Getting on the ball machine, yeah.
Whatever it is. Right. Substitute one of those for playing 3 sets. Even if you win or lose first 2 sets, play a third. And just do that every week. And I guarantee you will learn more about your game by playing 3 sets every week, in addition to whatever all the other stuff you're doing. I mean, look, should we be working on technique every week? Maybe we should be working on paring away technique every week. Should we be working on tactics and strategy? Sure. You could be honing in on let's do a drill that really mimics really mimics a common match situation that I find myself in all the time. Let's do 10 minutes for me. We'll set up the drill, and then I'll, whatever, dude, my practice part you want to do, we'll set that up for you. Should we be working on physical every week? You're damn right. We should be doing something off the court every week. And whether that means doing something better in the kitchen or whether it means getting in the gym and doing something, we should be doing something every week, probably every day. The fourth thing is mental. Yeah. Should we be figuring out what's a repeatable between points routine that we can practice? What's an off court? Let's take 5 minutes right now, every day at a certain time, and just sit back and close your eyes and visualize, what do you want to look like out there? What do you want to feel like out there? And then the fifth thing, of course, is experiences. Play those 3 sets every week. All you have to do is one thing out of each of those categories, and boomski. You talk about a 3-5 to 4-0. It's a guarantee. There is no way to fail. I can't tell you how long it'll take. For everyone's different, but you cannot fail if you do one thing out of those 5 categories on a weekly/daily basis.
Right. And that's the story. I mean, there is no way to.
The 100 videos is not the answer. I'm sorry, it's not.
There's no way to interpret. There's no way to interpret in a video a feel unless you're the one who's actually watching yourself. But even then, until you've had enough experiences to know the feel that you're looking at, you have, what's it called, cognitive dissonance, where you can't even relate to what you're watching, where you're seeing it, but you can't, I can look at a video of myself and I know exactly what it feels like to be doing it, just because of the repetition. I've done it, I've hit enough balls. But videos are great. It's very important because you need to see the reality of yourself striking a ball, moving on a court, not moving on a court. Oh my gosh.
That's our 6th pillar, by the way.
Right.
Video.
Video. To see the reality of what's actually going on out there, and that one the technical pillar, looking at that, the actual technicality of hitting a ball, stroke technique. If you take let's just, Fed, Rafa, Djokovic, right? They all 3 use the same ingredients in the exact same order. There is no difference in the ingredients they use and the order in which they use them. The difference is their athletic expression of those ingredients in the same order. That's what you're looking at. So it's not about, do I need to hit it like Rafa? Do I need to hit it like Fed? Do I need to hit it like Djokovic? No, because you're going to express it differently. But you need to see the ingredients they're using and the order in which they use them.
I'll get back.
And then lather, rinse, repeat.
It gets back to the 3 principles that we've been
posture. Framework.
Prep.
Spacing. Yeah, those are the 3 that you're watching when you see those guys.
Right.
And that's what you should be gleaning. As a 3-5, is there things you can glean from these top players? Yeah, there are. That's it. Not how they're doing it, but these 3 specific pillars of really getting in there and watching how disciplined they are about those 3 pillars. So,
hey, I was watching.
Want to throw that in there.
I watched Mark Vines play Mike Federley yesterday, which was the finals a couple of weeks ago at the grass courts, which Mark Vines played. He's even admitted. He said, that's the best tennis I can play. Well, yesterday, the conditions are different. 2 weeks ago, it was beautiful, warm, and the grass courts are playing firm, and the footing was incredible. Yesterday, it was overcast and damp. The air was kind of damp, and the courts were a little dicey. I mean, they were playable, but you had to have a different balance. You could not get a hair off balance yesterday, where maybe on the grass a couple of weeks ago you could, which is the beauty of hard courts, right? I mean, hard courts, you get massively off balance and recover.
Yeah, in one step.
in one step. On clay and grass, you can't do that.
No.
So, but watching Mark yesterday, and he struggled, and he actually, with all the traveling to and from Florida, he picked up a cold, and so but that was not an excuse for him. He wins first set 7-6 after being down. He wins, first set in a breaker. He was down 2-set points. I think he had to serve at 4-6, and then Federley served at 6-5.
Wow.
And Mark eventually won the tiebreaker and then won the second set 6-3. I guess the point I'm trying to get to here is that I was watching from the side where you could see Mark's balance. And I was watching it. First of all, I was right next to the court, and then I went over 2 courts away because I wanted to kind of get a different perspective. And from far away, you get a bigger,
right.
What's it called, range, or I don't know what is.
Right.
But the thing, and I was asking. I actually, whoops, what did I do here? Where'd you go? What have I done? Oh God, you still there?
I'm still here in
okay.
the.
Is it okay? I mean, can we see each other?
Yeah, it seems like it. So
okay,
I don't know
fine.
what's happening at your
No,
end.
I somehow I was trying to clear some crumbs off my mouse pad here, and the whole world went crazy. But anyway, so I was watching him, and I was standing next to Bruce Nichols. Bruce Nichols, a great tennis player. And I said, Bruce, what do you think Mark knows or does that maybe some of the other guys don't? And he said, wow, that's I don't know. And one thing I kept noticing is what you and I've talked so much about with balance and posture is that no matter what ball came to Mark, whether it was fast or slow, he always allowed it to get into a certain contact point,
right,
that for Mark is ideal. Now, maybe someone else, that contact point's maybe, this far behind him, or this far
right.
in front, or this far closer, or this far away. But whatever it is, Mark Vines has discovered what his unique contact point is on a slice forehand, on a topspin forehand, on a slice backhand. All these shots, he knows, I need to allow the ball to get right here, and I don't want to think, oh gosh, I've got a slight opening, so I need to reach out there a little bit earlier.
Right. Right.
And it was amazing. It was just amazing watching this guy operate from a position of balance and posture, and allowing the ball to get where, for him, and this is why we go back to what we originally talked about today, is that if you're a teaching pro, stop teaching theory. Stop saying things to a Mark Vines or to a Mike Federley, where these two guys have completely different ways of receiving the ball,
right?
Different places of receiving the ball that are unique to them. And your job is to go out there and find, well, for my student, on his topspin, semi-flat forehand drive, his unique point of contact where he's got posture and balance and can repeat this thing like all day long. That's your job, is to help him discover that. Your job is not to force feed something that it doesn't work for. I mean, it might work for you. I mean, look. I mean, I know that we're going on and on here, but I know that one of your big epiphanies when you came back to the game, to teaching and playing, is you had to sort of almost fight that feeling like, I can't teach these 4-0 gals to play doubles the way that I play doubles.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and it's not disrespectful to them. And it's not like you're
not
sort
at all
of tooting your own horn going, hey, well, look, I played in the tour, and come on.
No,
man, when I was in Southeast Asia,
had nothing to do with that. I'm just watching and observing going, no one's actually recognizing. They don't even know, in fact, that there is an elephant in the room. That's the challenge here, is that the players themselves are frustrated, but they're not really sure why. they're being instructed every week to do this, X, Y, and Z, because that's theory. And this is the way you play the game. And this is the way you play doubles. And this is how you win. And the winning teams always do this. But yet they can't actually execute. They can't do it. And even if they do it in the clinic, they won't do it when they play, because they're not comfortable with it in the clinic, which means they're not going to dip into that bag, and they're not going to reach for that tool in a match. Because every time I do this and I hit the ball over there to Sally always lobs it over my head, and they're not making the connection that what they're delivering is Sally's favorite for hitting that lob over their head. So there's this huge disconnect. And then we tried it. Okay, we'll do it some more this week. Okay. And so that was my epiphany as I was watching this. I just went, oh my goodness, I've never seen this. And, when I came back to tennis, I was looking at it. It was just so bloody obvious to me that there was just this huge elephant in the room that no one even recognized. And if they did, they weren't talking about
it. Yeah. Well, look, let's wrap this thing up, and we'll talk about the 100+ videos one more time. is that you're not going to have 100+ epiphanies by watching a 10 or 15 minute video and go, oh, I'm now a different player. Let's go to video number 2. Oh, I'm now a different player. I mean, you and I talked about forever that epiphanies are the beginning of this long journey,
right,
to being able to actually cement some kind of transformation into your game. A quick fix, a tip, God, dang it, man. Stop it. Stop using the language of tips and quick fixes and
stop trying to redefine old terminology or classic terminology. Let's not call it old terminology, because some of the terminology is accurate and it's good terminology, but classic terminology in a lot of different situations now has so many different definitions depending on who is telling the student. The student now has seen 5 different pros in their career. Each pro used the same exact statement, but had a slightly different definition to it. So where does that leave the student? They've got this mixed. So I've said it before. I use different terminology because trying to untie the knot of redefining a word is just, wow.
That's rough.
Talk about
rough.
Painful.
Yeah.
Painful for everybody.
Yeah. Pronation, Jeff.
I've used it. I admit it.
Look, we all have. But I think the one thing that you and I have learned is that if someone says, well, what about pronation? You go, well, it's kind of like, and then, ... So,
anyway, there we go.
Yeah.
Another rant there in the middle of it all.
Goody. All right, guys, listen, thanks for, if you got this deep into it. Wow. That's cool. We love you. Free coaching call, Jeff. I don't think we mentioned that.
Nope.
Free private coaching call. We won't give you 100 things. We'll try to actually zero in on one thing that if you were to focus on that one thing for the next 30, 45, 60 days, wow. That would be that would be a transformational experience right there, rather than trying to consume 100 things and you're going
right
crazy. Anyway, so to get that free private coaching call with me and Jeff, the 3 of us, just go on over to goldballhunting.com. Drop in your first name and email address, click the button. You'll get access to our online calendar scheduler. You get to cherry pick a date and time that works perfect for your schedule. We've also got a free video over there too for how to help reduce your skill level range. Oh boy, we're not going to get into it because that's a topic for another discussion. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Jeff, what do we want to find folks to do right now?
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below. iTunes, Stitcher, rate and review. Goldballhunting.com. Spread the word. This is where it's happening.
Boomski. Guys, get out there today. Even if it's raining cats and dogs, get out there. Help someone else have a great day. Jeff, we're doing this again tomorrow.
Can't wait.